Howdy ho, YouTubers. So, I am on the bank. Hello. No luck yet, I'm afraid. Oh no, actually, saying that, that's a lie. I have had one fish, 21 pounder this morning, about 6 o'clock, something like that. So, yeah. But today's been very, very slow. Nothing has really happened whatsoever. So, yeah, not great. Hello, Paul. How are you? Yep, having fun here. All is good. Good evening, Darren. So, yep, I haven't done a blog this weekend. Thought I'd have a little bit of a break from it, so thought I'd do a bit of a live feed instead, and give that a go. Who's that? Gumbo Green. I am out at Digger Lakes down at Columpton in Devon. I've got a winter ticket down here, so I'm doing this is my second session before last, so next weekend is the final one and the ticket runs out, so I'll be moving on from there, and I'm probably going to go back to the Southwest Lakes Trust after that. I'm going to get their all season or their all water ticket, which is basically a ticket that allows you to fish every water that they've got. They've got, I think, about 6 or 7 different reservoirs around, so I'll be doing a lot of those. It's only £270 for the whole year, which is really good money, and you get a lot of fishing for that money as well. So yeah, this ticket runs out then, so next weekend will probably be my last one here. I might blog that one, and that'll be it. So yeah, looking forward to it really. Hopefully the weather warms up a little bit more. Who's that? Darren Norton. Hello mate, what's the biggest in there? In Diggers, I think is about Baby M used to be close to 35, but it hasn't been out for a good 2 years now, so they're skeptical as to whether it's in here still. But there's a big head of fish in here. There's probably about 160 fish in snails where I am now, and the smallest you're looking at about 18 pound. There's about 60 known 20s, and there's at least 6 30s in here. So it's a good water, it's a hard water, it's not a runs water, and it's really difficult as well because it's not your average run-of-the-mill fishery. It's kind of like, it's 5 acres of water, but it's separated into bays and islands and channels. If you go onto their website, you'll be able to see a picture of the lake, like they've got a map of the lake, and you'll be able to see from there. It's like a little bit of a maze really, so you've really got to be on the fish to catch them. So you've really got to use your eyes and your ears when you get here, because if you go into a swim and you just set up, the chances are you're not going to be on the fish. So you've really got to think about it. But it is good fun. It's a lot of fun here. I don't really fish it a lot in the summer months because for me it's just too busy. There's 17 swims here, but they only ever book out 13 swims, so you are able to move around if you want to, but yeah, it's a bit too busy for my liking, and it gets a bit expensive as well. It's, if you want 3 rods here, it's nearly 29 quid, so for 24 hours, so a bit on the pricey side as well. So that's why I don't really bother with it a lot. I only really do it when I get the winter ticket. So I know Ben, the guy who sort of like runs the place. I did a succession of overnighters during the week, and then he offered me a winter ticket here for 160 quid for sort of like 4 months. So I've done sort of £700 worth of fishing on it. So I've had my money's worth of it, I'll tell you that. What bait do I use this time of year? This time of the year, I still use boilie. I never really changed from that. I've always been a boilie fisherman, so I like to keep it pretty simple, really. This time of the year, I sort of go for the more digestible, kind of like boilies. So I use a lot of live system. I use a lot of stickies manila. Anything nut based really, anything seed kind of based. Fish meals, you can use fish meals at this time of year. The thing is with the fish meal is the fish meal isn't as digestible as your bird food kind of mixes, like your milk proteins and things like that. So it's not that the fish avoid it, because they don't avoid it, but what you'll find is they will fill up on it a lot more, and it's harder for them to digest, and they don't tend to react to it as well. So really at this time of year you want a bait that's going to go through the fish rather than stodge up a fish, because it's kind of like the same as us. Like if you don't want to you know, feel ill, you eat something with fibre in it, and that's about it really. Let's just see if I can, as I'm trying to read the messages. Live chat, there we go. Right, now I can see everyone's messages. I walked around snails yesterday, blowing a hoolie and pissing it down. Yes, it was. Believe me, I know all about it because I also got here yesterday. So, yeah, it was windy when I got here. It was the rain had just about stopped when I got here yesterday. It was sort of about the 2-3 o'clock mark. I did do a lap of the lake just to see what I could find. There was only 2 other guys here when I was here, so yeah, it was difficult trying to find anything yesterday. I decided to come into swim 1 because the only thing I'd seen was a couple of vortexes in swim 1, and that's the one just as you walk over the bridge from the car park. So yeah, it was difficult, but like I said, I haven't had anything other than the 21 that I had this morning, and I've had nothing else since, Paul. So yeah, 10 o'clock in the morning it would have been absolutely, you know, chucking it down here. So yeah, I can imagine that when you walked round it was really going for it as well, because that's when all the high winds were and things like that. But to be honest with you, it hasn't been too bad since I've been here. So yeah, it's not been too bad at all really. So it's raining again now, but today's been pretty dry. Still low pressure at the moment. There's been a lot of people here today. There's been quite a few people on day sessions and stuff like that, but I've sort of kept myself to myself on this one. I haven't really sort of like seen anyone or anything, so I don't know what's come out. Let's see if I can bring that chat back up. Live chat. Would have chosen that swim. They're sheltered. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's exactly why I went for it, because the wind yesterday didn't feel as warm. Like, even though it was a southwesterly, it was still quite a cold wind, wasn't it? So, like, I did walk down to the other end, walked into Brick Point because there was no one in Brick Point, and I was like, there's absolutely no way that I am fishing in here. It was absolutely howling. Even if there had been 100 fish showing in there, you wouldn't have got me in it, because trying to put a brolly up in there yesterday would have had absolutely no chance. So yeah, decided to give that one a miss. It was really, really cold. So yeah, that's why I came on the back of the wind really. Looked at Tyler's Bay as well, which is just on the back of me as well, but you know, the fish travel in and out of that bay anyway, so I just thought this is an interception point, so I'd be able to, you know, track a few fish from here. So yeah, that was that really. But it's not been too cold now. You know, it's quite warm. It's probably about 7 or 8 degrees, if you can call that warm for this time of year. It's not too bad, I guess. So the pressure's still low at the moment. I think the pressure's at about 996 here. So we're still in the low pressure area. We've got a little bit of rain now as well, so maybe that'll oxygenate the water a little bit, turn things on during the night. It seems to be that I've had quite a lot of fish during the hours of darkness. So come down to Dorset for a session, mate. Yes, I have been to Dorset actually. My last session in Dorset was Coking Farm. So I did a video on that one as well. If you haven't seen it, go back, you can check it out. There's a video on there of Coking Farm. We did 3 days down there, me and the missus. So that was quite good. that was a fun weekend. I think we had, I've had my personal best out of Coking Farm actually. That was a 27 pound 4, I think, mirror on the 3rd day. So that was a lot of fun. Let me just see if I can bring these messages keep disappearing for some reason. Here we go. What other lakes do you fish? So when I'm not here, I go to a place, couple of local venues to where I am, because this is a little bit out of the way for me. I'm part of a syndicate called the Southwest Lakes Trust. They've got a series of 10 reservoirs scattered all around the southwest. But I have sort of like 3 or 4, 5 that are very, very local to me. So I do that. So I do a lot of deep water fishing, do a lot of reservoir fishing, do a little of all sorts really. It all just depends. But the Southwest Lakes Trust, I prefer to go to the reservoirs because I find them a little bit more of a challenge. So even to a place like this, where this is a little bit more challenging. It's still commercial water. So yeah, I do a lot of the reservoirs. I like to do that kind of thing. I wouldn't mind doing a session with you sometime. Melbury would be good. Yeah, more than welcome. I mean, Melbury's a regular for me. It's probably only about sort of 10-15 minutes away from my house. So yeah, more than welcome, mate. The only problem with Melbury is if you're not on the syndicate there, i.e. if you don't have the season ticket there, because you can buy the season ticket for the waters, or you can buy the season ticket for all the waters. So a season ticket for there is 200 quid, and the all water ticket is 270. So last year was my first year. Started fishing Melbury, just to see how I got on with it. Really enjoyed it, so I just did Melbury. But my ticket's due in March, so I'm going to be renewing that, and I'm going to be doing the all water ticket. So the only problem with like not having that ticket, as I said, is they only sell Melbury as a day ticket. So you can only fish it in the days. You can't fish it in the night without the all water or the season ticket. Exeter Canal is a challenge, mate. Been there for 7 years now. Yeah, Exeter Canal is another one that I'd like to do. I'm always walking around the canal at Exeter. But the one thing that's put me off with fishing the canal is I get a lot of the guys that fish at diggers who fish the canal, and they stopped doing it because they said that there was like, they used to get like all sorts of problems with like yobbos and drunks and druggies and all this kind of stuff. I don't know how much of it's true, whether or not you've experienced that or not, but that's what they told me anyway. So that I kind of like put it off for that reason. Any plans to fish Thursbury? Stunners in there. I've not been to Thursbury yet. Again, it's not very far from where I am, but it's on my list. It's just a case that I just haven't been there. There's so many places around that you can go to these days, and it's really hard to sort of like, you know, pick a time. Again, that, and it's one of those places that gets quite busy. And sometimes it's nice to be able to sort of like move around, but it's definitely on my list. Like I said, it's not very far away from where I'm living. So yeah, Thursbury's definitely one that I will be hitting up probably this year at some point. Evening, Port. Thank you very much. Yeah, Paul, definitely get on the ticket. It is the way ahead. They're very, very good waters, I can tell you that, and there's some absolute stunning fish. So another reservoir that I'm going to be doing a lot of this year is going to be down at Exmouth, down at Squadmore. They've got a good head of 30s in there, so I'm told. So I'm definitely going to be going there. My Lake, Stafford Moor. Let's meet for a sesh. Again, Danny. Yeah, more than happy to do that with you. I go to Stafford Moor quite regularly, really. Probably I used to go quite a lot. I've done a lot of fishing on Beatties and Lodge. They always produce fish. I get along with Joe and Paul very, very well as well. So, yeah, more than happy to go there with you if you want to go there. The only time you get trouble is when you're fishing the sideboard. Right, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind going down to the down to the canal. It's something I definitely want to experience, so I'm definitely up for doing it. Paul, nah, mate, don't bring a Mackey's with you. I've got everything here I need. Honestly, I'm all fooded out at the moment. I've got so much food I can't even eat what's here properly. So, thank you very much. But yeah, I've got everything that I need. Otherwise, I will end up one fat, you know what. So, yeah. But yeah, right. So, I don't know what else to say really. That's the plans for the year basically. So once this is finished, I'll be here for another weekend, I guess, and then I'll be going over to the Southwest Lakes Trust, and I'll be doing it in. So I'm looking forward to it really. There's a good head of reservoirs that I am going to be doing, new ones this year. I'm going to be going to Squabmore, which is out at Exmouth. There's one out at Torrington as well. I forget the name of it. I can't remember. Jennet's, which is a day ticket. So I'll be doing that one as well. There's one up at Ilfracombe, Lower Slade. Be doing that one. And then you've got Upper Tamar and Lower Tamar. Upper Tamar is the big 80-acre reservoir. So we'll be going there as well. And yeah, there's a couple down towards Cornwall as well. So I'll be getting in and doing all over the place really. So it's looking like it's going to be quite a good year. Yeah, really challenge it. So is Chard Reservoir on there? No, it's not, unfortunately. I've been down to Chard quite a few times, because what it is I work as a mobile engineer, and I work all over the southwest. So whenever I am sort of down like Chard area, I do go down there quite a lot for a look. And to be honest with you, it looks quite good. So, and it's not expensive either. I think it's only 12 quid for 24 hours there. So I might chuck the kit in the van one day, and if I can get down there, I'll go down there as well, definitely. I'm up for anything really, you know. So yeah, all good. But it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, few more waters to do. Things are ticking over now, you know. Like, I mean, when I first started doing this, I never came from a fishing background. I used to do a lot of it as a kid. I've only started doing it again in the last sort of like 2 or 3 years. Before I started doing this again, I used to be a road bike motorcycle racer. So I used to travel up and down to the Midlands. I was in a club up there. Used to do a lot of racing up at Mallory Park and places like that. But the more competitive that I got at it, the more money it started to cost me. And just as I started getting to a level that I was, you know, sort of like getting on the podium, hitting first, seconds, third, it was costing me the earth to do it. So I sort of fell out of love with it a little bit. And in my time where I wasn't doing it, my missus turned around to me and she said to me, what did you do before you did this? And I said, well, not a lot really. And then I said, you know, I went fishing as a kid. She's like, well, why don't you get back into that? And ever since then, I've been back into it. And I started off exactly the same as what everyone else does, you know. So I've just sort of like honed my skills up from there, and put the effort in, put the time in, and it starts to come together a little bit now. So that carp fishing ain't much cheaper. No, it's not. But I find, believe me, it's nowhere near as expensive as what a superbike is, I can tell you that. So the other great thing with this as well is if you do it right, then it can work out, you know, a little bit cheaper. So things like the Southwest Lakes Trust, you know, 270 quid for 10 waters all over the place. You go to one, it's full, you go to another one. So, or if it's too busy, you go to another one. They're never ever full. But yeah, like if I compared the amount of fishing that I did, if I did all my fishing here, it would cost me a lot of money. Whereas if I do my fishing there, it's nowhere near as expensive. And to be honest with you, I don't really find a lot of difference in it either. So it can be a little bit more daunting because obviously you've got that much more open water, the lakes are a little bit deeper, but once you get used to that side of it, you know what rigs work, you know what sort of depth you're looking for, everything just follows into place. Like a place like Squadmore, like I've done a lot of fishing at Melbury this year, and when I first went there I was absolutely petrified because I thought, oh my god, it's only a 12 acre lake as well, but if you compare it to this kind of place where, you know, it's 5 acres, everything's flat, everything's laid out for you, you know, you go to somewhere like that and you've got a big open pan of like 12 acre water where the depths vary from, you know, 5 foot at one end to 30 foot at the other end. You think, oh my god, it's a massive head fuck when you first get there, but you watch what the other guys are doing, you ask the questions, you put the time in, you look at what you're doing, you know, and it follows into place. I think I blanked my first 3 sessions at Melbury, and I started thinking, you know what, this isn't for me. Like, I'm not going to catch fish out of here, this is ridiculous. But once I had that first fish out of there, I was like, right, that's it. Now I've broken that barrier, you know, and that was it. And that's what you do, and that's what gives you the confidence to sort of carry on. And that's what it did with me. So that's kind of like why I can turn up to places like this, you know, not blowing my own trumpet, but catch fish, you know, because I've got that experience now of fishing in other places, and you kind of like put everything together to be able to get a result. That's why I like, when I come to diggers, like I will not put a rod in the water until I've seen something, because unless they're there you can't catch them. So that's that kind of theory really. But right, and guys, I better cut this one off because I've probably gibbered on for long enough, but hopefully you've all enjoyed the live feed. Like I said, I am not blogging this session, unfortunately. I wish I had now, because I thought I was going to have a blank one, but you know, I put the photos. I'll put the photos up on my. I've got a Facebook page as well, Southwest Carp Hunter, for those of you that haven't seen it yet. So you can go on that and follow that. You can also find me on Facebook under the name Leon Vleder, and I'll take, you know, questions or friend requests or whatever it is. So yeah, righto guys. Yeah, okay Paul, well I'll see you tomorrow then if you're going to pop in. More than welcome. Like I said, I'm just on swim 1, so if you've got the time and you've got 10 minutes, just nip your head in, say hello. More than happy to say hello and meet you. So yeah, right then guys, that's adios from me. Tight lines mate, and I'll catch you later on. Cheers guys.